Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first video of mine you are seeing, then welcome. I just wanted to sit down and just do kind of like a just simple, easy get ready with me using the products from my everyday makeup drawer. I have really neglected those products simply because all I want to wear are my Tower 28 products, so I wanted to sit down and make the conscious decision to use these products, get some good use out of them because they are all really good products, and everything that I'm using today is drugstore, so it's a nice affordable get ready with me. So if all of that sounds interesting, let's go ahead and get started. The only thing I applied off camera is my Milani eyeshadow primer, which, I mean, you can see how much I really use this product. It's my favorite eyeshadow primer. It's really the only one I use, but that's the only thing I applied. Just wanted to go ahead and get that where it'll be just kind of sitting for a minute while I do my brows. And for my brow pencil, I'm just going to be using this one from e.l.f. This is the Instant Lift Waterproof Brow Pencil, and this one's in the shade Deep Brown. So I just like to calm my brows down. If I did a video a while back kind of showing like my brow routine, which I mostly am missing hair on the top of my brow. Like the bottom of my brow is pretty full. I don't know why that is. I've never like overly plucked or anything. It just grows that way, I guess. This pencil is a little bit dark. I honestly think I could have went down a shade, so I'm barely pressing. I love the color of it because it is actually like a cool tone brown, but it can be a little dark, so I'm barely touching my skin with it. Now, is it actually waterproof? I couldn't tell you if that claim is true or not. I don't really put my makeup in that kind of situation where it would need to be waterproof, so I cannot attest to that. But I do like the pencil. Now, I did actually have the e.l.f. Wow Brow Gel that was in my everyday makeup drawer, but I did end up actually finishing that. So what I've been using is this from Revolution. This is their Laminate Brow in the dark brown, and I've just been using the gel side. I don't like this product. It says dark brown, but the pencil is like almost looks like a soft brown. It's very warm, so it's not for my brows. And the gel it's okay, but it doesn't really do anything. But I'm trying to at least use that side up if possible, so it's not like a total waste. But I just don't like this brow pencil. There are far better ones at the drugstore. But if I can at least use half of the product, I feel like that's pretty good. And for eyeshadow, I'm just going to use this eyeshadow stick that I have in my everyday makeup drawer. This is the e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick in the shade Magnetic Pull. Just kind of swatch it on the back of my hand. And it just looks like that. It's just a really pretty kind of everyday shade that's perfect for just one and done kind of looks. I never actually put eyeshadow palettes in my everyday makeup drawer, but I feel like maybe I should start. The only reason why I did it is because I tend to use a lot of different eyeshadow. I like to kind of switch it up, and I try a lot of eyeshadow palettes. I feel like more so than I do anything else. Pencil, it feels a little bit stiff, like it feels kind of like it's dried out a little bit. It doesn't feel as creamy. I have had it for a while. That's one of the reasons why I tend to avoid eyeshadow sticks, is that I just, after a while, they just start to, like they're pulling. Like that just pulled my eyelid. Just taking a fluffy brush. This is the e.l.f. Fluffy Eye Blender brush. I'm just gonna go around the edges of that shade just a little bit. Honestly, you don't even really need a brush. I like the color, and I like these eyeshadow sticks, but I can tell that this one's gotten a little bit older because it does tug a little bit. Kind of hurts to apply it on my eye that way. But I mean, that's my fault, not its fault for letting it dry out. So I'm like, it just pure hurts. Like, ew, I might have to just declutter this one. I hate to do that, but you know, why use a product if it's gonna hurt you? Okay, I'm just gonna curl my lashes, and the mascara I'm gonna use is this one right here from e.l.f. This is their Lash and Roll shade, and this is in the deep brown shade. I've really gotten where I like brown mascaras. I know most of them end up looking like a soft black, but they still look softer on the eyes just a little bit. It's not that big of a difference. I love these types of wands. Like, I love the curve. I just find that those tend to really lift my lashes up and help them hold a curl a little bit better. I can really feel my makeup preferences changing more and more. Like, I used to never be without false eyelashes, and now I rarely wear them. When I do, it's usually because I'm taking a picture for Instagram or something. And I like false eyelashes, don't get me wrong, but I just rather now wear just mascara because you can see how pretty that is. It's just so soft. Just added like a little bit of a second coat. Not even a full second coat, like a coat and a half. I just really like that soft, fluttery lash look, which is interesting because like a year or two ago, no, I would have had to have the most beefiest mascara that just looked like false eyelashes, and now I'm just not really into that. I just like seeing how your makeup preferences can change over time, and mine definitely have. I'm getting more and more where I love softer makeup more than anything. And this mascara is probably my favorite mascara at the drugstore. I really love this one, and then my other favorite mascara is the Tower 28 mascara. Both of those are my favorites. And I do love the Rare Beauty mascara too. I have a mini of that one in my collection right now, but I haven't opened it yet. But I do like that one as well. But it's a mascara that is definitely a lot more like dramatic than these. This one I feel like and the Tower 28 are much more softer. Okay, and there's like that coat and a half on both sides. Just think it's such a pretty delicate mascara. I had two primers in my everyday makeup drawer. I had the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer and the CoverGirl Color Correcting Serum Moisturizer Primer in the Redness Neutralizer. I'm just going to mix the two of these. I did that the other day and liked the way they did together. Mix both of those. Smell that watermelon. Mostly like primer in my T-zone area more so than anywhere else. I feel like that's where I have combo skin and I get a little bit more oily in here. Also, I got a sample in my last Sephora order that was from Milk Makeup. It was their Pore Eclipse primer. I really like that. I only got to use, it was just a big enough sample to use twice, but I really liked the way it made my skin look, and it helped keep my shine down to a minimum right here. Now, I don't have super oily skin, but I do get a little bit of glowiness right in there, so it really helped keep that at bay. So I'd actually like to buy a mini of that because I believe I saw where you can purchase a mini size. Okay, before I go into like my foundation, I'm going to use this. This is the Milani Under Eye Brightener in the Rose shade. It's a brightener, but I've been using it kind of like a little bit of a corrector, and it did have one of those little sponge tip applicator, and I know you shouldn't apply directly to your face like that, but I'm the only one that uses it. It did have a sponge tip applicator, but I cut that off. I do not like those sponge tip applicators. Oh, and this is that Real Techniques, like the double-sided, the dual sponge. I really do like it. I haven't used anything else, and I like that you don't have to actually wet it like you do a regular sponge. I will say that it can be a little hard, but I've noticed that the more I use it, the less it feels a little bit rough. I really do like it, and I like that it's kind of like a two-in-one, so it just cuts out a step, and you don't have to wet your sponge. Which, that's not a big deal, but I just like that, you know, especially if you're someone that you're doing your makeup in a hurry in the morning, or maybe you're traveling and you don't want to have to wet it, or maybe you're just not near like a sink or something, you can just quickly blend your products out. Okay, then I'm going to take my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This one is in the shade Fair Warm. And I'm just going to put a dot about right here on each side. You don't need a lot of this at all. And I like to keep it further down so I can get most of the pigment here and then blend up, because if I do too much, it can get really creasy on my under eyes. I like wearing it this way, like keep a lot of the pigment here and then work up. I don't know why, but I like doing my concealer and like my under eye correctors and stuff first, and then going in with foundation. I feel like I use a little less foundation when I do that because then I don't have to worry about covering this area so much, just kind of like the top of my nose a little bit. And for my foundation, I'm using this one from Lottie London. This is their Velvet Skin Tint in the shade Fair. I do really like this stuff, but I can definitely tell that mine's getting a little bit older because I feel like it doesn't perform as well as it did when I first got it. But so I'm trying to really use it up as much as I can in this everyday makeup drawer. I might have to end up decluttering it, so I want to get some good use out of it because it is a really good skin tint. I know Lottie London is sold in some Walmart stores. Unfortunately, none of the Walmarts near me carry Lottie London in the store, which I wish they did. Because the things I have tried from this brand, I really like. Like their bronzer is good. I've tried one of their blushes. I have tried one of their liquid eyeshadows before, and those are really nice. I didn't remember having any creasing or anything with that one. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. This one's in the light pink shade. And then I'm just going to take the other side of my little puff and just tap in some powder. This is what I mean by I like that it's just double-sided. You have both. You have everything you need right there in one little sponge. I've already bought a few backups of it, knowing I shouldn't have because I do have other like more regular sponges in my collection. I have a little bin over there that I keep like new products and backup products in, and I have more sponges over there, but I just really like this sponge because I'm just going in with some powder products today. I'm not going to be using any creams. I feel like I've been using more creams lately, so I wanted to use some powders. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of this and run it on my lower lash line. Just kind of take my finger. It doesn't feel like it's tugging as much on the lower lash line. Maybe it just was me. Maybe I had to kind of get it worked in a little bit. But I just felt like it was really pulling on the lid. And then just go back in with that mascara and do my lower lash slits. For bronzer, I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in Ticket to Brazil. This is the original Ticket to Brazil. It looks a lot different now. It's more in a square packaging. And I'm going to take that on my pointed powder brush from e.l.f. This is one of my most favorite bronzers. And even though they still make Ticket to Brazil, I just feel like, I don't know, I like this one better. I wish they had just kept it just like this. I feel like the new one has even more of a shine to it, like a shimmer. And maybe not, I don't know. I feel like it does. Even when I swatch them next to each other. Maybe it's just me. I recently did a bronzer and a highlighter declutter. I can link that for you up above in the eye if you're interested in watching that. And I kept bronzers that I feel like were the most easiest to work with. I really like soft bronzers that aren't too overly pigmented when I first apply them, like that are really soft shades. I'd rather build a bronzer up. And this was one I kept. I did keep the newer Ticket to Brazil too because my goal is to try at some point and hit pan on this, and then I'm going to retire it. I don't want to use it up completely because it's just kind of like one of those products that I'd like to keep as a keepsake, like a memento. You can see it's just like a soft bronzer. For highlighter, I'm going in with this Revolution highlighter. This was their collab with e.l.f., like the movie. This one's in North Pole highlighter. It's like a really pretty pinky highlighter, but I wanted to see, I mentioned in that declutter video, and I'm taking that on a Flawless face brush from e.l.f. I mentioned in that declutter video that I kind of wanted to see how I'm liking this because it might actually be one I declutter. It looks very pretty, but I can see a bit of a cast, but not much. But I'm gonna lay a blush over the top of it and we'll see how I feel. It might be one I keep. I do think it's really pretty. I haven't worn it a ton. It was newer to me, and this is the first time it's been in my everyday makeup drawer, and I just haven't gotten a lot of use out of it. I haven't been wearing a lot of highlighter lately. I feel like it does have a bit of a cast, but I'm hoping it won't be as noticeable when I put my blush over the top. For blush, I'm wearing one of these little ColourPop pressed powder blushes, the heart-shaped ones. This one's in Kiss and Tell. This one's my favorite, as you can see why. It's just a very boring blush. It's very boring. It's just a really pretty, everyday kind of shade, and it's so stunning. I'm only tapping into that blush one time. I don't know if they still have this shade. I know that they have cream versions of these now. I don't know if they still have the powder ones available. Everything that I can link I will have for you below. But this one is the prettiest one, and Patrick Ta recently launched new blushes, and there's one of the shades, and I can't think of the name of it. I'll pop the name of it on the screen right here. I want it so badly. I want that blush. It looks like this. It kind of looks like this, and it's described as like, I think like a pinky beige or something like that, and I want that shade. I'm hoping I can pick it up very soon. I'm hoping I can get those new palettes from Huda Beauty. I think they're coming to the Sephora app. Well, by the time this video goes up, they should have maybe went up over the weekend on Sephora's app, and I'm hoping I can get those, and I'd like to pick up that blush shade of his if it's still available, because it's described as a really soft blush, and that's me. I love soft blush. I want that shade. It stood out to me. It's just so pretty. Yeah, I feel like I can still see a bit of a cast from that highlighter, so I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna pass that highlighter on. It's not bad, but I can see a little bit of a cast right in here, and I don't really like that. I'd much rather have a highlighter that's suited more for my skin tones. Okay, and for the lips, I'm gonna start out with, this is the e.l.f. Cream Glide Lip Liner. This one is in the shade, what's the shade? Oh, Pinky Swear. I'm telling you, they put the teeniest little sticker on the top of the cap, and that's what that shade looks like right there. Really pretty. I'm just gonna line my lips. I'm not gonna fill them in. These are really nice lip liners from e.l.f. and they're only like $2. Okay, and for my lipstick, I am wearing the O Face Satin Lipstick. This one is in the shade Dirty Talk, and I think it's a perfect match with that lip liner. Like, they're basically like the same color. This is my favorite lipstick from e.l.f. It's the most beautiful everyday shade. And then right over the top of that, I'm going to wear, this is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss in the shade Sugar Poppy. This is basically like a, I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see here. It's kind of got like a slight pinky tint to it, but it's more so clear. Just gonna take a little bit of that right here in the center. That's all. Just for a little bit of a glossy look right there. Make sure I wipe that applicator off before I put it back in the little bottle. Don't want to mix it. And here you have the finished look. It's just a really simple, easy look for every day. This is kind of what I've been going for on a regular basis, but instead of this, I'm using my Tower 28 products, which creates a very similar look, minus the eyeshadow. Tower 28 doesn't have eyeshadows yet. I'm hoping that they will have some in the future, but I do hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing if you haven't already, and please make sure to follow me over on Instagram at Jessica Dearly, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!